Hey, welcome everybody. We're hanging out here on a live stream, getting ready for the Scaling Ethereum Hackathon coming up. I've got Mike and Fran here, and we're just going to hang out, talk about what's going on with Superfluid, and maybe go through a tutorial too, and just start it off today. Nice Thursday. Tomorrow's a hackathon. We want to, get ideas out there, see what you guys are building, see what you're interested in, and whether or not Superfluid can fit into that. So
I can't wait for the hackathon to start soon. Let's see these hackers getting their crazy ideas out. Don't you miss hackathons?
I do.
Like going to the hackathon, right? Like going there physically and being with people and kind of getting the creative juices pumping and ideas flowing and meeting cool amazing people. Can't wait for that. Kind of next DevCon is going to be so wild.
Yeah, the best part of these hackathons is just like the hanging out in between all the other events and just jamming on ideas and stuff. And that's hopefully what this can help with.
Yeah.
While we're getting stuff here, I'm just going to go to hack.superfluid.finance. Hack.superfluid.finance. That's just like our hacker kit that we've put together for this hackathon and all the hackathons. And this is a great jumping off place. So we've got ideas here. How many ideas do we have now? I think there's a bunch. Like we've got
over a dozen ideas, I think.
Yeah. Well, we've got these, and then we've got even the ones in the chart down here from people.
Yeah, and if you go down, there is a link to all the previous hackathons projects right there. Community hacks 1, 2, and 3. That's here. There you go.
Right on. Yeah, and some of these, where can we find the code for these actually?
I think some of them have links, but you have to kind of if you go to the community hacks articles, they all have all the links, so you can find the codes, you can find the videos. You can find the demos. You can find everything.
Right on. Yeah. Okay. And so right here, these links.
That's how I would do it. I just go to my favorite hackathon project, look at the code, kind of get familiar with it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Here it is. Okay. So these, drip, and they've got the showcase for all of these previous hackathons, and that's going to have the code in it. So what do we have here? Which one we jam on first? Super reality cards, drip, non-zone, cash cow.
Sure drip. Let's show drip.
Drip
or cash cow. I mean,
okay.
I mean, cash cow is cool, right?
Cash cow.
Let's go for drip. Yeah.
Wait, it's cool because you're on this team.
Yeah, I guess that's why I think it's cool. We had a decent team. We had fun, I must say. I was doing a lot of support calls at the same time, but at the same time kind of coding, and it was good times. So at least I can speak to what's in the code.
Yeah, what is it like actually?
So cash cow is this it's a way for businesses that receive money in streams, right? So Superfluid is all about streams, right? You, as a business, you get streaming subscriptions, people paying you over time, and the streams go on forever, right? That's a really cool thing. So you open a stream, it goes on forever. So what you could do with cash cow is you could take a part of that income and basically tokenize it. So imagine you're receiving $1,000 a month in income. You can take $500 of those, put them in an NFT, and then sell the NFT for 6 months, right? So whoever buys it gets that income. So they get like $600 over 6 months. And then you can sell it, say, for 500, right? So you can basically borrow against your future income. So it's this kind of way of financing businesses without selling stock, right? So yeah, it's kind of a cool idea to use NFTs. But it was an NFT hackathon after all. So to use NFTs with streams.
I see you're using the redirect all contract. That's a popular one in all of our examples so far. I think that's in basically every super app that's been built is redirect all.sol.
Yeah, and funnily enough, that was my first Solidity contract ever, which is pretty insane. But yeah, so basically we created this whole kind of set of if else blocks where we were deciding if we should send a stream to one person, to another person. I must say it was very hard to write this contract, and ultimately it didn't work. But it's still a fun experience. It worked most of the time, but the NFT wasn't transferable, which was the whole point. So I guess sometimes you just need more than 48 hours to write proper contracts.
I see you're okay. So you're creating liens on the NFT, and then based on that is how the tokens are flowing, essentially.
Yeah. So the lien is the NFT, exactly. So basically, if you hold the lien, then you receive the stream, and in theory it's easy, right? Because if you just keep receiving streams, the lien is going out, nothing happens. The really hard part was, imagine you have $1,000 in income, you sell the lien for $500, and then you start losing subscribers, right? So then your income goes from 1,000 to below 500, right? And then you have to update the stream that you're sending to the lien. And that was where basically the logic became extremely complicated to build.
Yeah, that's harping back to kind of like RDI days, where you've got like many to many relationships between all these different liens. And I see you're kind of following the same pattern here with the callbacks that we're continually seeing, where we super app callbacks are essentially when agreements are opened or closed and they're involving any super app, then the host contract will automatically call one of these callbacks and execute some logic in your super app. So normally, like when I'm sending DAI to a contract, the DAI contracts don't like reach out and like, ask that contract, hey, do you want to like run some code before you receive these tokens, right? But with super tokens and Superfluid, anytime you send any super tokens to a contract that is registered as a super app, the host is actually going to go out and call, and it's going to say, hey, after the agreement is created, do you want to run some code, right? And that's what you're doing here is you're saying, after the agreement is created, after somebody opens a flow of tokens to my super app, then I'm going to run this code update outflow. And that's the same pattern. That's like kind of just the basic pattern for all super apps, is that we're reacting to an agreement. An agreement can be a constant flow agreement where tokens are streaming, or it can be an IDA where tokens are distributed in kind of like a batch distribution or airdrop. Is that correct, Fran? Is that how you think about it?
Yeah, exactly. So what happens here is basically, imagine you're a business, right? So you receive a new subscriber and they send the stream, and then the logic is just going to say, okay, where are we, right? Do we have more than 500? If we do, then this new stream is going to go to the business. If we have less than 500, then this new stream is going to whoever bought the debt. And that's basically what happens in update outflow. So it's kind of this complex if and else blocks. But this is all coming down from the original tradable cash flow contract, right? Which was very simple. It was just receive money, send it to the owner of the contract. And then here we were expanding on that.
Yeah, so maybe let's we can keep jamming on this stuff, but maybe let's dive into our actual tutorial that we created for the hackathon coming up. So this is in our docs.superfluid.finance under examples, and we're calling it the soda machine. And I posted like a complete walkthrough video of how to go through the tutorial, and there's plenty of information here, but I'll just give you the gist of it. One DAI is one soda, and we have a super app, and I'm going to stream tokens into the app, and it's going to return me with another token called the soda token. So that's why, it's a soda machine. But the difference here is that like instead of handing $1 to the cashier, you're actually streaming money to the cashier, and you're only receiving soda back while you're sending tokens. And I've been trying to wrap my head around that, and like what real life example of that exists, right? Because there's the parking meter, right? But that still doesn't really that doesn't really apply, because with a parking meter, you're still dropping coins one at a time, into the thing, and then you walk away, right? But with this, it's like you can only pay for parking like while you're standing there putting in like a penny at a time. You're like adding a penny, but you can't leave the parking meter, right?
Yeah. Okay, so you say that, right? You say there's no real life examples, but that's not true. So there's no real life examples involving money, but actually all of our lives are like this. So like if you meet someone and you talk to them, they will give them attention, you talk to them, and they will give you attention back as you talk, right? And then as soon as you stop giving them attention, they will stop giving you attention back. Like this is how we work as people. It's not how money works, but it's how we work, right? Which is why I think kind of streaming is interesting, because it kind of it's a very natural way for us to relate to people. Like when we relate to businesses, like when you walk in a shop, you're looking around the shop until you walk out, right? But then you buy stuff, and when you buy stuff, it's just an instant transaction. But your experience is continuous, and that's how streams are. They're continuous, right? So that's kind of the way I think about it. But yeah, I also can't think of any examples where you kind of put a coin in as you go.
Sounds like we're transitioning from transactions to experiences in a way, right?
It's super meta. Like that's so meta to think about life and just what it is to be a human, and now like kind of bringing money into that as well, and not like almost not separating it as an experience. Like if this is where your attention is, this is where your money is flowing, and in return you're getting whatever response back that you want. So if I put my attention towards you, Fran, then you're going to talk back to me. I'm like, it's just a very natural exchange. Yeah, that's crazy to think about, man. I definitely, that's going to be blowing my mind a little bit the rest of the week.
That's the way I explained it to my mother, and she didn't understand.
Well, sort of, this is kind of another option is I guess this kind of goes back to what you're saying, where it's only where your attention is, where your focus is at that moment. So where, where your attention, but where your intentions are as well, right? So if my intention is to stand in an arcade and play a video game, as long as I'm standing there playing the game, I need to be putting quarters in, or I need to load my card and be swiping my game card, with my tokens. And so, yeah, I think that's sort of maybe a less meta example than having a conversation with someone, because it does involve, transferring assets in return for a service.
Right.
But
we are in a lot of people talk about the attention economy, right? Like if you think about it, like people like influencers are vying for attention, right? So you are literally getting their attention. So I think we're going to see some interesting stuff with social tokens, for example, where like exactly like this, like with the soda example, you kind of subscribe maybe to an influencer, or you subscribe to a specific content creation platform, and then you get back their tokens, right? And then that gives you an opportunity to do other stuff afterwards. I guess almost like a loyalty token in a sense.
Yeah, and one thing I want to point out, and just for those following along, I'm taking the details about the Superfluid contracts, like the host and the constant flow agreement, the accepted token, which is the DAI token that we're going to accept to get soda, and the factory contract, which is going to allow us to register our token. Because we're actually doing two things here. We're deploying a super app, and we're deploying a custom super token. So there's a lot of moving parts here. But one thing I wanted to ask you guys is, in this example, we're receiving tokens back for sending tokens. But how could we, what's a way that we could kind of extract that out to be a service, right? So instead of me receiving soda tokens back, is there a way that somebody could provide a service for me during that time period, and like while my intentions are to purchase the service using a stream? Instead of just receiving tokens back, is there a way they could, give me access to an application or a blog or something?
Exactly. But that's exactly how I think about this, right? It's not about getting soda back. Like you're paying something, and then, it could be that you're subscribing to Netflix, right? And they give you Netflix tokens as long as you're a subscriber, or, I'm subscribing to, I don't know, Mike, give me an example. What are you subscribed to? You actually subscribe to a bunch of influencers, right? So
maybe, I don't know, we are subscribing to some newsletter just to get us updated on the latest on DeFi.
Yeah, so I'm subscribing to the Defiant, right? They're giving me back DeFi tokens, and that's not what I'm buying, right? Like, I'm buying the content, I'm buying the experience of being a subscriber, but I also get back a stream of DeFi tokens, which then maybe give me access to a tokenized Discord, for example, or give me access to, ultra rare Defiant commemoration NFTs, right? So it could be a bunch of different things that you can do with social tokens, but at the same time, in a sense, you're paying for them, right? So you kind of put together the really cool things you can do with social tokens with the really tangible things you can do with receiving a cash flow, right? Because ultimately, we've seen a lot of people experiment with social tokens, but then they can't monetize them. They don't actually earn an income, and then eventually they don't make more content, right? So I think joining it together with a cash flow is like a very interesting thing. But there's a lot of kind of not influencer related ideas flying around as well. So that's just kind of where we went with this example, I think.
Yeah, so you bring up a good point about the social tokens, and I want to get into that. But before that, from a developer's perspective, what does that look like? Is that basically just using the SDK and checking if this person is sending me DAI in a stream, right? Because if that's the example, then technically you don't really need to build a super app, right? So I think there's kind of like a spectrum of difficulty here where you could build an entire service that relies on just checking, in your web app, in your backend, just in Node.js, essentially, is this customer sending me tokens? If yes, then, give them whatever they're trying to get, right? All the way, and then on the harder side is deploying a super app, which you can fork this example that we're showing now. So I guess can we get an example for like both sides and what that looks like from the developer's perspective?
Yeah, I mean, let's say for example you have a YouTube video, right? Like you have a YouTube video, but it's unlisted, and you only want people to see it if they're streaming, right? So what you do is you put it in a website, and then you put some custom JavaScript where they have to connect their wallet. Now, as soon as they connect their wallet, you ask them to sign something so you're sure that they're actually connecting their wallet. And then once they've signed that, you check their address, you call the JavaScript SDK. So the Superfluid JavaScript SDK, you basically create a user object. So, I mean, you can check the docs for that, but you basically create a user object, and then you call the details. So when you call the details, you get all their open streams and how much they're streaming. So then basically you can just very quickly check, is this person streaming me at least X, which is, whatever amount you've decided. And then if they're streaming that, release the video, right? And you show them the video. And opening a stream is really easy as well. So as soon as the user connects and you create this user object, you can just do basically bob.flow and then the amount that they're flowing and your address. And as soon as that transaction is confirmed, you receive a stream. So it's extremely easy in JavaScript. And obviously, like if you're like me, you'll get that done in half an hour, and then you'll be like, okay, now I want to build a super app, which is why we're kind of showing super apps as well, because super apps are really powerful. Like you can build basically smart contracts which connect your wallet with the smart contract, right? Like if you think of a normal transaction, like even with Uniswap, right? You send the money, they send you another token back, and that's it. Like your relationship with that app is in an instant, right? If you think of a super app, you're streaming it money for a while, right? So there's a continuous relationship. So you can do a lot of time-based logic, and there's a lot of ideas in our community, but that's what hackathons are about, like kind of coming up with ideas, prototyping, seeing what sticks, and then who knows, right? We've already seen a few companies, well, a few projects in our hackathons becoming companies, which is extremely exciting. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to kind of see what this hackathon brings as well. Yeah, Pat, what are you doing?
Yeah. So okay.
Last year.
So I deployed a contract, and Gourley has been kind of messing with me a bit. So I deployed the contract. It said the transaction was confirmed, but then I think there was like a block reorg or something, because then I called a function, right? And then it said buffer out of bounds, like the contract didn't exist or something. I don't know. So I'm redeploying the example. In the example contract, we are doing three things: step 1, step 2, and step 3. Step 1, we are going to deploy our custom super token, which is a token that does not have an underlying. So for instance, we have DAI and we have DAI X, and DAI X is the upgraded version of DAI that gets superpowers. And that has an underlying token, right? So the underlying token is DAI, which sits under here. And then we've upgraded that to be DAI X that gets the superpowers. And that's called an ERC20 wrapper super token. And then we just have custom super tokens, or, they're kind of like regular super tokens, or just super token. That's it. And that means that it's native to the protocol. It just lives in the protocol. There's no underlying token. And that means it gets superpowers the day it's born. So these are like, these are, what's the word for that? They're royalty, right? They get all these extra abilities the day that they're born. They don't have to work for it. So anyway, so we're deploying a native super token, and the contract for that is in here. Essentially, it's just a super token proxy contract. And then we are initializing our super app, and we're using details about Superfluid so that our app knows how to communicate with the Superfluid host contract. And you can think of the host contract as like the engine of Superfluid. Everything kind of like flows through that, and it's like kind of running the show. It's I guess engine's not a good word. What word would you guys use? The host.
It's the host.
Yeah, but host is kind of...
You can call it the brain. It's basically the main brain of the whole system.
Yeah, because host is overloaded as a term, I think, and also it could mean so many different types of hosts, like...
It's the train master.
It's the operator, right? It's like pulling all the levers that need to get pulled to make everything happen. Anyways, okay, so our app that we're deploying needs to know the address for the host contract so that it can register itself, and we'll talk about what that means in a second here. And then the last argument is the address of the token that we just deployed, of the super token, because it needs to understand which token it needs to send back to people when they start sending in DAI.
Right. Wait, have you already transferred the token to the contract?
So that happens in the last step, in the third step. Yeah. So the second step is we initialize our custom super token. And what this does is it sets up the proxy to use the logic. And this is where it gets a little crazy if you're not familiar with proxies, but essentially we have a core logic contract, which is like a library contract, right? If you're familiar with like how libraries in coding work. So this is where all the functions are for super tokens. And we have all these like super tokens out there that all point back to that one logic contract. And when we call the initialize custom super token function, then that basically the token factory sets up our proxy for us to point back to that one contract. And what this means is that all of the super tokens can rely on the same logic contract. And when we want to update that and make an upgrade for it in the future, like to add a feature or to fix a bug or to make a security patch or something, it makes that process a lot easier, because then we're all relying on the same logic contract. So we could go off the deep end with that whole discussion. That's kind of like a whole nother video. So then, Fran, what you're asking, when do we send the tokens to the soda machine to kind of fill it up, right? To load it with soda. That happens here in the initialize step. So we give it a name, a symbol, we give it how many we want to pre-mint, and then we get we give it the address of our soda machine where it should send those. So that's where we're setting it up. And then we also, because these are public variables, let's go down to our deployment. So hopefully it deployed properly. Yep, so now we can see the address for our two contracts that we deployed. This is the address for the machine, and this is the address for the token.
Nice. So can you add that to MetaMask so we see it if it's coming in?
I can certainly do that. The thing is, though, I'm sharing my window, so you guys aren't going to be able to see.
We can see your MetaMask.
Oh, you can?
You're right. Yeah, we can. We can see your MetaMask.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Let's add this custom token then. There we go, soda.
Nice.
So I have 0 soda. Huh?
Let's buy some soda. Come on.
Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the contract address for the machine, and I'm going to go to the dashboard, and I'm just going to send DAI to the machine. That's it. Like
you're
that's
on Gurley, right?
Yep, on Gurley.
Okay, and you set up DAI as the accepted token in the contract, right?
Yes.
So if I try and put USDC in, if I try and put USD coin in the vending machine, it's just gonna reject it, right?
We should try that because I think it will fail. Yeah.
It should fail. It should. Yeah.
Because of the callbacks, right? That's what we talked about earlier. So the host is going to say, hey, this person's trying to send us a stream. They're opening up an agreement. Hey, soda machine, do you want to run any logic? And the soda machine's like, actually, yes, because this is not the accepted token. So let's not have this happen, and it's going to revert. But let's do the happy case first.
Yes. Let's see if the demo effect is
All right, so I'm setting it as 60 a minute. So I'm sending, or 60 an hour. So I'm sending 1 DAI a minute. So in 1 minute, we'll have 1 soda, which is about how long it takes to get a real soda in real life, right? If you're going to order it at the counter.
Let's see.
This is the moment where we're all in standby waiting for the blockchain to do its work. Is it Gurley? Yeah, right?
Oh, sorry. I need to up the gas. I keep forgetting to do that.
One way is not going to work.
It'll be a little slow.
Yeah. Even it's crazy. Even Gurley's got a gas.
Confirmed.
Problem, right? Oh, really?
Wow. Okay, this is remarkable.
That's
How
insane.
did that happen? Wow.
The dashboard should catch up in a second here. Yeah, that's funny because we get the warning, but oh, there it is. Okay. So we're a quarter of the way to a soda right now because we've almost streamed 25 cents.
But unlike normal soda, in this case, you can also get fractional soda, right? So we you can probably already see something in your wallet if you check.
Let me check that.
I guess we can see your MetaMask, but I'm not sure the audience on YouTube can.
Oh, you know what? You're right.
So,
You're right.
yeah.
In MetaMask it's showing half a soda. Okay, for the next stream, I'll set it up a let's differently. So
check it out in Remix. Check it out in Remix.
Right. Yeah, that was my plan. Let's see. Okay, so we'll open this. So I'm gonna load, and now this is the thing with proxies. You got to be careful, right? So the contract we deployed was native super token proxy, right? But that's the proxy. We actually need to load the logic for that contract instead, which is the super token logic, and we can just load the I super token interface. I don't know if that's showing up, but in the drop down here. So we're actually loading I super token at the address for a token. So it's a little confusing, but it's in the docs. So don't be worried if you're trying to follow along. Okay, so we'll copy my address and we'll go down to the balance of, yep, there we have it. I think that's 1.74 soda, 1.75. So we're almost got 2 sodas now because we're doing 1 a minute.
Yay.
That's insane.
I'm thirsty.
Okay, so we can feel like we're having a soda together at a in-person hackathon, right?
1.5 sodas. No, guys, I really miss the in-person hackathons. We need to get back to those soon.
So wait, how much is that?
Why are you canceling the stream?
43,000 per month. Okay, so guys, when you think about streams, right? You're setting up streams per second, right? So any number is going to be massive on a small scale, right? Because we show per month. So what were you doing, Pat? Was it 60 per hour, right?
Yeah, one a minute.
Right. So $1 per minute is $43,200 per month. So kind of it changes your perception of time sometimes. 43,000.
Yeah, so okay, so I'm closing it now. So what should happen is if I call balance of, we should see, okay, we've got 3.25 sodas, right? And if I continue to call that, we should see it should stop, right? It shouldn't go up anymore because we stopped sending money to the machine. It should stop sending us soda back. And that is the case. So that's true, right? So now what should we do? Should we try to break the machine?
Well, I mean, it's not giving us soda, right? So we should at least shake it and see what happens.
Let's try to put in some fake money.
Do you have any?
Well, I've got other tokens. So let's copy that soda machine address again, and let's try to send it something else. What should we send it? Oh, I think I don't have any other tokens. Let me upgrade some. Let's do, should we try to send it ETH?
Yeah, try to send it ETH. That's how it reacts to 50 ETH.
All right, I'm going to upgrade.
Don't put all of them in. You won't have money for gas.
That is correct. Very, very true. I just got excited. I have 50 ETH, right? That's a lot of ETH.
Yeah, especially today, right? I'm not even like checking anymore about it.
No, we can't talk about price. No price talk.
No price talk. No price talk. Leave that to the moon boys.
All right, let's put in 1. That's like that's a lot.
It's still a lot to put in a soda machine, right?
Well, that's kind of
imagine what happens.
That's kind of there's a different psychology behind it, right? Because it's like, I'm not putting in one, like, let's say I turn it on and it's a really high, it's 60 a minute or 60 an hour. Like, an hour is going to have to go by before you actually send 60 to the machine. 60, let's say it's die, right? So theoretically, like, if you're not happy with what's happening or you change your mind, like, you have time, it's not this like one-time thing where there's like all this, hindrance, and like it feels like, oh, I gotta pull out 60 die and hand it to them. No, you're pulling out like one die at a time, going, okay, I'll keep paying. Huh?
If they don't behave, you can stop handing the quarters,
Yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, yeah, I think I'm done with this now. And that's kind of like where everything's going with subscriptions. And, it's like Netflix, everyone pays per month, even though most people are definitely going to have it for a year, right? Like, if you have a streaming service, you're probably going to just keep using it. But for some reason, mentally, it feels better to just pay every month. Like, yeah, okay, I'm still going to do this rather than taking this big leap and doing it all at once.
You're super right. I think that's kind of the key power of streaming in general, like this idea that you have a univocal relationship with a service provider. So, they give you a service, but you stream them value. And at the moment you decide this service is not for you, you can stop at any time. There is no risk involved. And so you can really decide as you go along with that service provider if it's your piece of cake, if something that you really want to do. So it gives you one extra option that you normally don't have when you have to do a lump sum payment and then the money's gone. And then, if you were to not be satisfied, you would have to ask for a refund or you have to engage. So you will basically lose time after those things. So yeah, I mean, I'm really curious to see where this goes, right? Over time, if we get the Web3 service providers to jump onto this bandwagon and understand, they can have a different type of model providing services on streams. So yeah, I'm really curious to see where this goes.
So MetaMask isn't throwing any errors at me, so I don't know what's gonna happen.
Interesting.
Let's look at the callbacks. Let's see.
Let's check. Okay. Are you sure you put the right address in? Yeah, soda machine.
Yeah. So this would be a new agreement because we're streaming a new token.
Yeah. So it should hit the only expected modifier, right? And should break there. Can you check that? Maybe you've changed the modifier?
Did we just hack the soda machine?
Ooh, it confirmed. That's weird.
That is so weird. Okay, so wait, did it really?
Let's see. It should pop up in a second here. So I wonder.
Just open it on Etherscan, and let's check what happened there.
That is strange, to say the least.
Let's check my.
Here, it should check.
Let's see if my balance is going up. Okay, so 3.4. Oh, it is going up. Oh no. Did we break the soda machine?
How's that possible? Are you sure you opened the stream of Ether? This is strange. Okay, so it's not showing either.
Maybe it didn't.
It's just refreshing. Just give it time. We delayed a little bit the refresh of the dashboard. So I do see a warning on EtherX, which means that you do have something open.
Right.
Likely. Yeah. Let's just wait a bit for it to appear. It's up to 60 seconds.
Okay.
Hey Pat, so how is it possible that it reopened the soda stream with Ether?
Maybe the check for accepted token is wrong.
Yeah, it must be, right? Maybe it's I don't know.
But here it's
the demo effect. We got cocky with the demo effect, didn't we?
Is same token, and
right.
We're passing it the token and the agreement class. Which is checking if is super token is equal to the address of the accepted token. So
right, and what happens in that case? Require, right? So it should revert.
Yeah, it should. Should I refresh maybe?
Try opening the transaction page on the left.
Good point.
Let's see. Okay, it's not showing here either. Yeah, this is really weird. The joys of development, right? If you don't debug, you're not having fun.
So while we're waiting for this, like, what can people build? I guess should we talk about our bounties a bit, huh? For the hackathon, and maybe talk about like how Superfluid is fitting into the scaling Ethereum hackathon a little bit more.
Yeah, so our bounties are basically, I mean, we're trying to tailor to the event, right? So the event is about scaling Ethereum. Like the way we think about it Superfluid scales money, right? Because effectively, when you open a stream, you're gonna send money potentially forever, right? And there's no way to send money forever in a scalable way using normal transfers. So Superfluid, in a sense, scales money, right? It scales transfers. If you look into the IDA contract, it scales dividend payments, right? So you can make very scalable dividend payments to any number of receivers. So that's kind of the way we feel that we fit into this hackathon very well, right? So it's a new scalable way of transferring money. So the free bounties we put out, the first is $2,000. Okay, so this is the bigger bounty. And this is for anyone who builds a really cool cross-chain application. So Superfluid is deployed on a bunch of testnets. It's deployed on Polygon and it's deployed on XDAI. So one thing I would personally love to see is somebody manage to open a stream in Polygon and receive a stream in XDAI. Now, I don't know how you're going to do this, which is why in the bounty, we say you have to be a Superfluid magician, because this stuff is crazy. Like nobody's ever done this. If you can crack it, you're getting this bounty. So open a stream in one chain, receive it in the other chain. That's amazing. Obviously, that's just an idea. There's other cross-chain things you can do. And it would be great if you checked out our partners at Connext. They are doing some amazing stuff as well. And we kind of have a cross bounty going on there. So if you use them and you use us, you might be able to qualify for both. The second bounty is to explain it to boomers. So obviously we've been talking about Superfluid for a long time. We have all the metaphors, but it's really hard to explain to people who have no idea about crypto, who don't know about what we even mean when we say streaming money. What is that, right? I mean, streaming video is hard enough to explain if you think about it, right? We're used to it, but it's strange. So people are used to kind of lump sums. They're used to physical things. How do we explain this to them, right? So explanation can either be something, it can be anything, right? It doesn't even have to be coded. But obviously, another thing that would be really amazing for us is visualization tools and explorers, right? So anything that can help us make Superfluid, make our streams more tangible for people to understand what's happening when they open a stream. And the third one is to build something that makes money more fluid, right? So just using Superfluid to make people's experience with money more fluid, so more streamable, basically what we've been talking about so far, right? So this kind of puts everything together. Whatever you build, if it makes money more fluid, you qualify for this bounty. So one thing that could be is, you know, maybe a tool for your DAO to start streams, right? Or a tool for organizations to receive subscription payments, or a tool for vending machines to sell soda in streams, right? Whatever it is, you qualify for this bounty. So these are our free bounties, and we are doing also some internal bounties very soon, which are not related to the hackathon. So in any case, kind of join our Discord, which is discord.superfluid.finance, and you can kind of keep in touch with us. And did I miss anything, Pat?
That sounds good. Let's see, I'm trying to get for the links. Yeah, the link is down here. Where can they find this page? This join us at Scaling Ethereum.
It's on our blog on Medium. So you can go to our website and hit blog, and then you'll get here, or you'll find it on hack.superfluid.finance. And in that page at the very top, if you look at it, there is this, we're sponsoring Scaling Ethereum, and there is the link right there. By the way, the hackathon is starting tomorrow, so it's very borderline for you to register. If you do want to register, please let us know if they want to admit you, because we might be able to do so very last minute. But yeah, it would be amazing if you guys want to hack on Scaling Ethereum, and you know, feel free to reach out to us everywhere, on Discord, on the chat bubble, on our website, or directly on Twitter. We'd love to help you out and hack together with you.
Right on. Should we try to solve the mystery here?
I don't know, should we? What's going on? Okay, so the stream's going. You already spent a lot of money on the soda.
Only $1.
You should not be getting it. Oh, it's $1. Okay, it's not an ether. Okay. All right, let's go and check out. Okay, so you're still receiving. So somehow it triggered the machine.
I guess.
Did, I don't think it's possible that it triggered the machine. It can't
Well,
be.
the other stream is closed, right? So you're not sending any other stream than the Ether one.
Right, I closed my other one. I closed the die one. So I guess we hacked the machine then. We're putting in the wrong kind of money, but it's still giving us some back. The only downside is that it would take 1 Ether to get 1 soda. Because the flow rate is matched for the stream coming back.
Doesn't sound like a great hack to.
It doesn't. So you could pay
Very expensive hack.
Yeah, if you want to overpay for soda, this gives us fancy soda back. Yeah.
It depends. Are we the guys paying for sodas, or are we the guys owning the machine?
That's true.
If we own the machine, it's a pretty good deal for us.
I guess. Actually, Pat, did you even build a withdrawal function into this contract?
Maybe not.
So it's a black hole for money, right? It's
a universe soda dispenser.
This is actually okay. So, Mike, what do you do when you go to Rome, right? You literally throw money in a fountain. That's the tradition, right? So here you're throwing money into the soda machine. You're never going to get it back, but you get back some good memories. So that's
could it be quite useful in gaming, like on the Decentraland or crypto voxels. You can think about something like burn your tokens and get a soda back. Why not?
Yeah, that's a good point. So
tokens go to die.
We'll leave it up to the developer to add a retrieval function for the tokens that the soda machine earns. Or you could also set it up so that streams coming in, all of the value of all the incoming streams then is directed towards the owner of the soda machine, so they automatically receive it in their wallet, and they don't actually have to call a withdrawal function at all. So that would be kind of cool.
I think the soda machine should be an NFT that you own because you are the soda machine master, and then you can even sell it on the market down the line. So let's leverage what we learned in the last hackathon and make any real world asset an NFT that is attaching to the digital economy.
Oh my gosh, so meta. There's too many layers now.
You could literally put it let's put a soda machine in Decentraland. Seriously, a literal soda machine.
Let's do it.
Let's get someone to make us a 3D kind of model of a Superfluid soda machine, and then we go and put it in decentral games in a casino.
You're joking, but there is a team that has built a jukebox for Decentraland at NFT Hack. An actual jukebox that you have NFTs that represent music, and you can put them into the jukebox and they'll play. But then there is also some nice dynamic there. I didn't really dive into it, but it sounds pretty amazing.
That's awesome. Yeah, let's commit funds for a bounty right now on this live stream.
Right now, just like this.
If you're watching this far, then you must really like Superfluid. So maybe you'll consider building a soda machine in Decentraland.
Absolutely. And we would definitely consider putting some money into that soda machine to get some soda, because everybody wants and deserves fresh soda in Decentraland.
That's right. All right, so let's wrap up here. The Discord, that's the best place to reach us. Discord.superfluid.finance. Of course, there's the hack.superfluidfinance document. There is, we've got the docs, which has this tutorial. It also has a bunch of other tutorials. In fact, if you're just starting out very fresh to Superfluid, you're probably going to want to run through the tutorial. So we have kind of these examples down here, but if you want to, get up to speed on everything that's Superfluid, all the features, you're going to go to Getting Started. And then that's going to run you through an hour-long tutorial where we're going to cover every single feature, every single main feature. You're going to get all the primitives. You're going to learn how to use the SDK. You're going to learn, what a super token does. You're going to learn instant distributions and constant flow agreements. And then we're going to touch a little bit on super apps, and you'll deploy that one. And that's the holy grail. If you've seen any of the previous videos, that's the holy grail example. So that one is NFT based. This one, the soda machine, is more scaling money based, where we have like money kind of flowing around. And so we hope that, you could substitute the Holy Grail example for the soda machine example and build that. And then that will set you up for the scaling Ethereum hackathon coming up. And so, we're really excited to see what you guys are building. Any closing words? Fran and Mike?
Yeah, I mean, I would just say, just come and join the party. I mean, Ethereum hackathons are always about learning, so you don't have to be worried about, making mistakes. And if you're even junior or you never touched Solidity before, is the great environment to get started. So, even if you're not going to get a prize at the end, or you're not going to say win the hackathon, you usually meet amazing people that can teach you how to get up to speed in the blockchain and DeFi and Ethereum space. So yeah, just come join the party and hack with us at Scaling Ethereum this week. Actually, is a month long. So, this month from April 16th to the 13th of May. So we have a lot of time to work together on new applications on Superfluid.
Yeah, and just to dive even deeper, like me and Mike met at a hackathon, and me and Pat kind of taught me how to code at ETH Denver last year, where we were pair programming a really cool application, right? So hackathons are really cool, and we love hackathons. And obviously, everything's remote now, which is a bit more boring. So if you ever feel lonely and just want to kind of, show us your code, show us where you're at, if you get stuck with anything, just come to our Discord and we can jump into the Hangouts and check out what you're doing. We kind of love kind of building up your idea with you and helping you make it happen. So just join us, and let's make it as fun as it would be if we were all together in some warehouse somewhere hacking on our computers.
All right, thanks everybody, and we'll see you at the next live stream or community call, and we'll see you in the Discord. Happy hacking!